Now that all the data is well styled, I can compose the map deliverable. Here I have QGIS Desktop open as I left it at the end of Task 1. And to start my map, I'll go to the menu bar, choose Project, New Print Composer, and I'll name the composer. I can call it Lab 5 Baltimore Diabetes. I'll click OK, and the Print Composer will open. And this is where I'll craft my map. The main window of the Print Composer displays the piece of paper upon which the map will be designed. There are buttons along the left-hand side of the window that allow you to add various map elements, like the map, the scale bar, legend, title, logo, etc. Each item added to the map canvas becomes a graphic object that can be further manipulated, if it's selected, by using the Item's Properties tab. Across the top are some buttons for exporting the map composition when it's completed, navigating within the composition, and some graphic tools like grouping, ungrouping, raising, lowering elements. On the Composition tab, I can specify details about the overall map composition. QGIS defaults to an A4 paper size, so I'm going to click this presets and scroll down and find ANSI A letter, which changes my map to a letter size sheet. Next, I'll make sure the orientation is set to portrait and check that the export resolution is 300 dpi. I'll click the zoom full to zoom to the full extent of my map now that it's in portrait mode, and I'll click the add new map button and drag a box on the sheet of paper where I want the map to go. The map object can be resized after it's added by selecting it and using the handles around the perimeter to resize it. With the map selected, I'll select the Item Properties tab and click the Set to Map Canvas Extent button. This will help orient the map on the sheet of paper as it appears in QGIS Desktop. Next, under Main Properties, I'll set the scale to 1 to 100,000. I can also use the Move Item Content button to pan the map around in the Print Composer window. This helps me fine-tune the map position. Now I'll add a title. I'll use the Text tool and drag a box where I'd like the title to go. On the Items Property tab, I'll type my title, Food Deserts and Diabetes in Baltimore City. I'll click the Font button to change the font, and I'll set it to Times New Roman, size 36, and choose a font style of bold, and click OK to accept these changes. And you may need to resize the text box after these font settings have been made so that the entire title can be seen. Under Appearance, I'll give the title a horizontal alignment of center and a vertical alignment of middle. Next, I'll add a legend using the Add Legend button. I'll drag a box in the empty area south of the western portion of the city to add it to the composition. There are several layers that are only being used here for cartographic purposes and do not need to be in the legend. Legends are used for data layers that are non-intuitive or require more explanation. I'll remove these unnecessary legend entries. On the Items Properties tab, I'll uncheck Auto Update. Now the buttons below the legend portion of the Items Properties tab are available. I don't need the copy of the Baltimore City boundary or the copy of the Maryland County boundaries. So I'll select those and click the Remove button to remove them from the legend. The legend still needs a little editing. Layers come into QGIS with the file name as the layer name. As you learned in Lab 2, you can rename these in QGIS Desktop by going to the Layer Properties General tab. However, you can also edit these names in the legend within the Print Composer. So here I'll select the dialysis center's shape and click the Edit button. I'll take out the underscore and the .shp to make it an English readable layer name, and then I'll click OK. Next, I'll rename the Food Deserts and the neighborhood Diabetes to Diabetes Morbidity by Neighborhood. I can give the legend box a frame by clicking the box on Item Properties, next to frame. Now I'll enter some descriptive text that tells the map reader where the data was obtained, who the cartographer was, and the date created. This will be done using the Add Label tool, the same tool I used to add the title. And I'll add this label below the legend. I'll set the font size to 8. Here I've manually entered the date. However, it's also possible to use an expression to automate the date. To do this, I'll click on the Insert an Expression button. So the Insert an Expression window opens, and I'm going to type the following expression: concat created on today's date $now. The function $now provides the current date and time. It can be found in the Date and Time section. The toDate function converts the date to a text string. All of that is nested inside the concat function, which allows you to merge text strings together. So here I'm merging the text created on with the date. Any text you want to concatenate needs to be surrounded by single ticks. I'll click OK to insert this expression, and I'll backspace through the original date I had entered. Now I can see the date automatically populated in my text box. I can drag this text element to have it line up with the left-hand side of the legend, and I can also use arrow keys on my keyboard to nudge objects. Often it's nice to add a north arrow to a map composition to help orient the map reader. So here you'll learn how to add a north arrow to your map. To do this, I'll click on the Add Image button, and I'll drag a small box into the empty space in the lower right-hand corner of the legend. On the Items Properties tab, I'll expand the Search Directory section. A series of graphics included with QGIS appears, and I can scroll down until I see a series of north arrow graphics. I'll select a suitable graphic, and it'll appear on my map composition. On Items Properties under Main Properties, I'll set the Resize mode to zoom and resize frame. Then I can resize the north arrow graphic and move it as needed so it's well placed. Next, I'll add a scale bar. And scale bars give the map reader a way to approximate distances on the map. So I'll click on the Add a New Scale Bar button and click to the right of the descriptive text. So now I need to adjust the scale bar and set it up so that the units are in miles. Recall that the data and this map are in State Plane, Maryland, NAD 83. This means that the coordinate units are in feet, and knowing the units of the CRS the map is in is crucial to creating an accurate scale bar. On the Items Properties tab, in the Units section, I'll set the scale bar units to feet. This sets the scale bar units to miles. I need to change the label unit multiplier to the number of feet in a mile. I'll set it at 5,280. And in the Segments section, I'll make the segments also 5,280 feet long. Then in the Segment section, I can customize the left and right segments. I can reduce the left to 1 and the right to 2 to make the scale bar a little more manageable. In the Main Properties section, I can choose the style of my scale bar, and I can choose Line Ticks Middle to get a different style. And in the Fonts and Colors section, I can change the font to a size 10. I can then use the Select and Move tool to slide this graphic so that it lines up with the other map elements. Finally, I'll give the map a border. I'll select the map element by clicking on it, scroll down and click Frame. I'll expand the Frame section and increase the thickness to 1. In the final task, you'll learn how to export the map.